Welcome back, everybody. I just, needed to take a break between reviewing that last movie and this movie. But anyway, let's get on with the movie reviews. In this next movie review, this one's kind of a horror flick based on an older horror flick. This is rated R, and for a darn good reason. I would not watch this movie with your kids at all. I mean, I would watch it with them if they're like 17, 18 years old, or at least old enough to, well, not get as freaked out over some of the scenes, because to be completely honest with you, this movie's pretty violent, and it's blood and guts, to be perfectly honest. It's not nearly as bad as like Sweeney Todd, showing them cutting people's throats and stuff. It's more of a werewolf type movie, and that brings up another point. There's a Benicio, I think it's his first name, Benicio del Toro's werewolf movie that's coming out right about now, and I figured this movie would kind of be appropriate to review, considering that his movie's coming out, and it looks plenty creepy, scary, frightening anyway in the theater. And Benicio del Toro's a good director and actor, although that movie looks like something I don't think I'd watch myself, but scary. But anyway, this movie I'm reviewing is An American Werewolf in Paris. It has, of course, Tom Everett Scott and Jolie Delpy in it, and Vince Valouf, Phil Buckman, Jolie Bowen, Pierre Casso, Tim November, and Thierry Lamarte, I guess. But Tom Everett Scott, you'll remember him from Tom Hanks's That Thing You Do. He played the drummer. I happen to like Tom Everett Scott in that movie. I like him in this one too. But what happens is Tom Everett Scott's the star of the movie, and what happens is his character and his the character's two friends, they're on a tour of Europe, and it's the Horny Man tour is what I call it. It's not called that, but it's basically, that's the impression it gives. It's like, these three horny guys traveling, well, two of them are very horny, traveling through Europe, trying to see how many points they can rack up or some business. And that's how the movie starts, is Tom Everett Scott's character and his two friends are on a train headed from, I forget where offhand, but to Paris, France. I've been to Paris, France, and that town is just, well, city. The part that I were in was amazing. I mean, I got to see the Eiffel Tower and stuff. I would love to go back. But I do highly recommend this movie to watch right around Halloween, like I did Hocus Pocus, and I should have probably reviewed that one closer to this one instead of right behind the one I reviewed it. But no matter. Anyway, this is a good movie, and what happens, like I said before, Tom Everett Scott's character and his two friends go to Paris. Well, they get there, and they meet Jolie Delpy's character, and what happens is Tom Everett Scott's character and his two friends are on top of the Eiffel Tower at night after the place is closed up, and they're gonna try to bungee jump off the Eiffel Tower in the middle of the night when nobody's around. What happens is Jolie Delpy's character's there, and she's gonna try to commit suicide off the Eiffel Tower. So she's up there with them. They don't realize it until they see her there, and she goes to try to jump. Well, Tom Everett Scott's character, being the, not horny one out of the three boys, jumps off while he's got the bungee cord attached to his leg, and his two friends try to grab the cord before it completely, goes off, and he forgot to tie off his bungee cord, and they barely save both him and Julie Delpy's character. He just ends up dropping her, you know, safely on the ground, and then they pull her back up, and he whacks himself in the head with one of the girders on the Eiffel Tower, and ends up in the hospital. Well, you know, it talks about like what happens afterwards, and Tom Everett Scott's character falls in love with Julie Delpy's character, and it's, you know, werewolves. She's a werewolf, and he ends up becoming one because she doesn't bite him, but somebody else does. And what happens is Tom Everett Scott's character and his two friends, his two guy friends, end up going to this party that's given by this gang of guys that are like, you know, just really unusual looking. You know, they're just like this, that knows Julie Delpy's character, and what ends up happening is that gang of guys is a pack of werewolves, and they, you know, attack these unknowing Americans and everything. And basically they kill one of Tom's character's friends. The other one manages to escape, and so does Tom. And, you know, it talks about what all happened with that, so I'm not going to ruin the ending for you. But, like I mentioned before, Tom's character ends up becoming a werewolf. And, you know, it talks about, like, how Julie Delpy's character, you know, helps him with that, and what they do about it and everything to solve the mystery. And Tom's character gets blamed for, like, all these deaths and stuff, and it's just, you know, he had nothing to do with it. Well, with the exception of one death, and I won't elaborate on that. You have to watch the movie to see which one he gets blamed for that he actually does commit, but that was because he was going through the change to be a werewolf, and he couldn't help himself. Not that I'm condoning murder, I'm not. But anyway, I do recommend An American Werewolf on Paris, and this is based on An American Werewolf in London, like as in England, which was shot like a while ago. But this movie, like I said, is a good werewolf movie if you're interested in watching something other than Vampire, or the New Moon series or whatever, okay? So hang on, I've got some other non-vampire movies or werewolf movies to review with you, and we'll get talking about those, okay? So hang on.